Someone shouts, "Kid, why are you just standing there? Go say hi to the Xiao family's daughter. She's right there at the door." The protagonist blinks, looking confused, and the person yells again, asking if he's deaf. Then, smack, he gets hit on the head, and the old man barks, "Get up, you brat, go say hi to her." The protagonist is Linghu Qiang, CEO of the Linghu Corporation. And then the system speaks up. "That old man who just smacked you, that's your grandfather. In this Dragon King C's world, we're in chapter 35, and your identity is the villain Linghu. You've got 5 chapters until you die. Good luck." The protagonist just freezes. Only 5 this time, seriously? What the hell? Smack. Another hit on the head. His grandfather orders him to quit, mumbling to himself, "Get up and greet the girl already." He stands up, muttering, "Fine, you damn old man, I'm going." As he walks through the courtyard, everyone greets him respectfully, and he just keeps thinking, how long has it been since I got trapped in these books? I don't even know anymore. But it all started with that disaster. A billboard had collapsed that day, crushed him flat, and he basically turned into jelly. Right then, a strange voice told him he had activated the counterattack villain system. From that moment on, he started hopping through countless stories. And it's always the same. He drops into a story as the villain who's about to die, and he has to somehow survive against the protagonist. The problem? The protagonists are always broken. He could fire missiles, and they just swat them away like flies no matter how many he launched. The blasts bounce back and blow up the ground he's standing on. The very first time he tried talking to a sword master, the guy ran him through the heart before he could even finish a sentence. And now here he is again, with the system telling him to do his best. A car stops out front. He thinks. So this time it's one of those novels where the protagonist steals the villain's wife. The car door opens. Out steps a girl in tights, glowing with some kind of powerful magical aura. He immediately knows this must be the target. To the left stands Bixuan, a supposed protagonist of this story. And next to him is Churan, the eldest daughter of the Xiao family. Bixuan is practically radiating protagonist energy, glowing like some hero out of a drama. Our protagonist just thinks, "Damn it, this bastard really is shining." Bixuan approaches, "Miss Xiao, would you like me to carry your bags?" But she just snaps, "Don't touch me." Our guy remembers, "I'm Linghu, the eldest son of the Linghu family, but I've also been her lapdog since forever." He forces a smile. "Don't mind me, I'm just here to spoil you. Spoiling you is what I like to do. Don't worry." And now, after all these years of following her around, getting nothing, he has to compete with this guy. Bixuan, who has the perfect advantage of being her bodyguard, always by her side. In this story, he's unstoppable, maxed out, fully stacked. And worst of all, he hates him. Churan beams sweetly. "Hi, Bixuan, carry my purse for me." Linghu Qiang just thinks, this guy's an idiot, throwing away his devotion on a woman like her and wasting the family's resources. None of this even makes sense. And I only have 5 chapters left. How am I supposed to steal this girl from Bixuan? This is one of those harem novels made just to make guys happy, but in my case, it's only here to screw me over. He sighs. "You know what? Forget it. I'll just take the beating, put up with the pain, and eventually it'll all be over." Out loud, he says, "Miss Churan, there's something I want to tell you." But she turns around coldly. "I don't care what you have to say, but I do have something to tell you." He gestures. "Go ahead, girl." He already knows what's coming. And she says, "Linghu Qiang, give up whatever hopes you have. I will never marry you, even if your family helps my father make more money through interest payments." Suddenly, the protagonist cuts in, "Good, because I was just about to say the exact same thing." She doesn't even notice and is about to say she won't get involved when she snaps back to reality. "Wait, what do you mean?" He says, "Yeah, I also want to cancel this engagement." She still looks lost, while Bixuan wants to know what kind of scheme is going on this time. Churan agrees with him and tells Linghu to go ahead and reveal whatever plan he's plotting. She warns him that no matter what he says, she won't accept it and won't believe a word. What is wrong with her? Was he playing hard to get or something? Linghu sighs, "Girl, relax. There's no plan here." Miss Bellybutton Top crosses her arms and says, "I've already been through everything you're trying to pull. You're not tricking me with this act." The protagonist is fuming. This damn girl clearly just wants to keep me as her lapdog while I get humiliated in front of Bixuan. Too bad for her. You've already reached enlightenment. I'm done dealing with a stupid woman like this. She turns to leave without even bothering to shut the door. Out of nowhere, Churan freezes. "Wait, who just said that?" She looks around confused. "There's no one else here, so who called me stupid? What was that?" The protagonist says, "Miss Churan, you're taking this too far. I'll explain everything to the elders myself, that this engagement can't work, and then it'll all be settled." Bixuan is standing there, furious, while Linghu just storms off. The system pops up, panicked. Hey, something's wrong with the system. Why are his thoughts leaking out loud for everyone in the story to hear? I can't let this bug get reported or I'll be erased. Maybe I can at least tweak it so only certain thoughts and insults slip through. The rest is up to him. Linghu keeps thinking. According to the storyline, Bixuan gets mad because I stole his woman, and that leads to him beating me up. Which is perfect, because if I don't actually go after Churan, he won't have a reason to do anything to me. At the door, he says they've arrived. Everyone stays silent. Churan is still on edge, still wondering what that strange voice was. Linggu notices that for the first time, she told Bixuan to stay outside before coming into the room. Oddly enough, Bixuan didn't even seem all that angry. Inside, the grandfather greets them and Linggu announces that he's brought Miss Churan. One of the uncles sitting in a chair corrects him. Her name's not Xiao, it's just Churan. You should know that, being so close to her. And then the grandfather growls, "Put some heat on her, you brat." The protagonist says fine, but in his head he's thinking, there's no way I'm getting the #1 beauty in the city. Let her go into Bixuan's harem. I just want this engagement broken off so I can wrap up this ridiculous story already. But once again, Churan hears every word. Hey, that voice again. It sounded like it came from Linghu. I can tolerate him insulting me, but why is he bad-mouthing Bixuan about having a harem? She remembers the times Linghu protected her, told her not to worry, promised he'd always be there. He's my bodyguard and I trust him because he keeps me safe. But this has nothing to do with a harem. Could this be some rumor being spread around? Linghu is completely lost, handing over the tea for the patient to take. The grandfather chuckles. These kids are still holding back. Then he turns to his brother. I think it's time they got married, don't you? But Churan suddenly stands up and says she disagrees. I'm sorry, Grandfather Linghu, but I have no relationship with Linghu Han. Marriage is out of the question. I don't love him. The protagonist replies, I agree with her. She's right. Forcing something like this would be wrong. It's better if we each go our own way. She finds his behavior strange again. Why is he acting like this? Then what I assume is her grandfather says, boy, you should agree with your wife, but now's not the time for this, son. She's still a little immature sometimes, so you don't need to worry about her words. But Linghu replies, no, uncle, you've got her all wrong. She's an extremely mature woman. If she's decided she's not getting married, then it's not happening. That's it. No way we're getting married. Absolutely no way. The protagonist doesn't want to get beaten up by Bixuan for no reason, while Churan stands there baffled. Why did he change so suddenly? Yesterday he sent me a 5,000-word letter. Her grandfather gets emotional. Boy, I get it. You're going to stay by her side even without the engagement. That's what you mean, right? You really are remarkable. Linghu mutters to himself, you got it completely wrong, old man. But the uncle turns to Churan and tells her she has to realize how far Linghu is going for her, and that this marriage will happen. The protagonist suddenly drops to his knees, tugging at his pants. No, uncle. No, no, no. I don't want to marry her. Please forgive me. Churan overhears him and he thinks, you stupid woman. You're always opening that big mouth to say you don't want to marry me. Why are you quiet now? Go on, complain to your father. Tell him you don't want this marriage, you idiot. But then, out of nowhere, Churan smiles. Suddenly, her whole attitude changes. Oh, great, look at this damn woman. Look what she's about to do. She says, wow, I think I finally understand. You keep talking about not wanting to marry me, and I thought you'd change your mind. But really, you just want to protect me. Father, grandfather, I've decided. If we don't have feelings yet, we can build them. I agree to marry him. No. The protagonist just stands there, completely lost. This girl's sick. She must have taken the wrong medicine. She needs to go to the hospital. She definitely didn't sleep right last night. Something's seriously wrong here. He still doesn't get it while she just smiles at him, teasing him, saying the parents only want the best for them. Doesn't he like me anymore? She asks, pushing him. He blurts out, of course I like you. But in his head, damn it, I want to crack her head open and see if her brain is smooth. And Churan just keeps thinking she never imagined he had so many inner dramas. Seeing him being forced to agree with her was kind of fun. Look at her, she's practically drooling. This damn girl. And Linghu grabs her by the arm and says they need to have a talk outside. He asks permission from the elders, who just laugh. Haha, young love really is romantic. By the wall, he tells her, you cursed woman, you don't get it. This relationship isn't going to work. You can still refuse. But now that she knows he doesn't want it, she does want it. This marriage was arranged by the family. Why would I refuse? Linghu insists it's because she should marry someone she actually loves. He reminds her that she's always treated him poorly, so all he asks is that she have a little mercy and cancel this now. She puts on a cute act, saying, I might not like you right now, but what if I start to like you later? The protagonist yells, no, Bixuan's going to kill me. And now Churan hears that too and is confused. Why does he keep mentioning Bixuan? What could Bixuan possibly do to him? And why would he even do anything? Why is Linghu, one of the top young masters of the great families of Sang City, afraid of a bodyguard? Suddenly, Linghu puts his hand to his chin. It's over. Too late now. He slams his hand against the wall and says he'll ask one last time. Will you accept or reject it? She smiles and says she accepts, and even asks what he's going to do about it. The protagonist just freezes. He really can't do anything. And with that, they're already raising glasses of wine, celebrating the marriage of these wonderful young people. Everyone at the party is talking about it. An alliance between the Linghu family and the Xiao family was a powerful thing indeed. They always used to say that Miss Xiao wasn't interested in Linghu, so apparently all those rumors were wrong. Bixuan is standing there shocked. What just happened? She suddenly changed her mind. He's so mad he shatters his glass in his hand. Then he growls, Xiao, I'm against this marriage. The protagonist is sweating bullets. Damn, Bixuan finally showed up. My fate's sealed. Meanwhile, the Xiao family's patriarch, Churan's father, asks who Bixuan even is. Big smiles. Take a good look and you'll know. The man squints, trying to think, while everyone at the banquet just stares, unsure who this guy is. Could you be some unknown rich heir? Then the old man remembers. Ah, that's right. You're my daughter's bodyguard, aren't you? And why do you think you can speak up against this marriage? Now the whole hall is buzzing. Things were getting interesting. A bodyguard opposing a wedding. Ling's silently fuming. Damn these side characters, they're going to rile him up even more. Right then, Shu-ran's father dismisses Big-Xuan on the spot. That's enough. You're no longer authorized to be here. But Big-Xuan stands his ground. That's enough for me too. I'm not letting you force her into something she doesn't want. Her marriage shouldn't be decided just by your opinion. Shu-ran, however, doesn't like that one bit. Big-Xuan, if my father's words don't matter, whose do? Yours? Her father shouts that he's done arguing with a bodyguard and orders him escorted out. Big-Xuan laughs. 2 guys think they can stop me? Then bring it on. Call 10 more if you want. The father agrees. Fine. If that's how you want it, everyone, get him. Big-Xuan glances sideways, then launches a punch straight into the first guy's gut, sending him flying. The rest of the guards hesitate, then mutter, guess we have to go together, and rush him. Big-Xuan crouches, ready, slams a fist into one guy's jaw and backhands another, and suddenly a wave of energy bursts out from him, sending everyone flying across the room. Who's next? He growls. Ling was just watching, stunned. Whoa, this guy's really strong. I'd better get out of here before I get caught up in this. Then he claps his hands, smiling. Wow, brother Big-Xuan, you're so strong. Come on, man, you're taking this wrong. Why get so mad? Don't worry, Shu-ran won't marry me. Isn't that what you want? Everyone around is whispering. This bodyguard just ruined the wedding. What a disgrace for both families. But they're impressed with how calm Ling stayed. He looked so poised, so regal. This was what a noble young master should be. Big-Xuan thinks this must have been Ling's plan all along, to make him look like the fool. Meanwhile, the protagonist is panicking. What the hell's going on here? Usually the crowd never sides with the protagonist. Why are they agreeing with me this time? He's already imagining his own death. No, something's wrong. You should just grab Shu-ran and run off already. Go ahead. She's your girl. He looks at Big-Xuan. Big-Xuan, aren't you going to do something? Shu-ran giggles to herself. This Ling who might look calm on the outside, but inside he's yelping like a puppy. Seeing him struggle this hard is really entertaining. And then it hits me. She's getting married wearing the same outfit. They didn't even bother to draw a proper wedding dress for her. Big-Xuan thumps his chest and declares that he doesn't care about anyone else. As long as Miss Shu-ran is safe, nothing else matters. From now on, no matter how many people stand in the way, no matter how much negativity surrounds us, I have nothing to fear. Shu-ran locks eyes with him. The protagonist cheers silently. That's it, Big-Xuan. Go get her. That was the perfect speech. Now all she has to do is act like a princess and let you sweep her away. But then Shu-ran suddenly throws up 2 bazookas and says that yeah, sometimes he really does get on her nerves. The protagonist just stands there, totally lost. Why is she looking angry right now? She's supposed to cry, get emotional, and let this guy carry her away. Shu-ran glances sideways, looking kind of fed up. Big-Xuan steps forward, grabs her arm, and asks if she wants to escape through a route he knows. She doesn't need to worry, he can clear the way for her. But she smacks his hand away and snaps, quit being so dramatic, you lunatic. What the hell? Then she turns to Lingu, like she's about to say something, but doesn't. Big-Xuan is trembling and then, wait. Shu-ran says she's figured it all out. She says it seems like this world she's in is a novel made for men, and she's one of the heroines who's supposed to end up with Big-Xuan. What? This girl just reached the 5th dimension. She's aware of her own existence. Holy hell, it's the first time I've ever seen a female lead understand the Matrix. And there she stands, tall and imposing, with those wide hips staring straight at Linghu. Big-Xuan calls out to her, asking if she isn't afraid that this guy will hurt her in the future. The protagonist flinches. Why are you two standing so close to me? He's trying to figure out if the bastard is about to punch him. Big-Xuan gets in his face and says, you idiot. As long as I'm here, you don't get to so much as think about laying a finger on her. But Shu-ran tells him to move aside. She wants to talk to Linghu. He ignores her completely and steps in front of her again, telling Linghu to stop forcing himself to think he can have her. In the future, I'll deal with you, he says. At that point, Shu-ran snaps, stop being so presumptuous. Big-Xuan, I'm not going with you. But he turns around with this lovesick look and says, Shu-ran, your heart is bitter. I know sometimes you say one thing but mean another. Even with this guy trying to hurt you, you're still kind and caring. Are you scared the Linghu family will try to get revenge on me? Shu-ran is half in shock. Honestly, Big-Xuan's logic almost makes sense. He goes on, saying her silence speaks volumes, but she doesn't have to worry. He's not afraid of any retaliation. He swears he won't let such a gentle and kind girl fall into the Linghu family's trap. Then he spins toward the protagonist, anger in his eyes. Damn it, Linghu. There's something wrong with this kid. The protagonist remembers that this is the exact part of the story where Big-Xuan glares at him like he wants to kill him, and that's when he dies. That wretched woman. She's putting on this whole act just so this guy will kill me. Shu-ran is just standing there, taking all of this in, thinking she's done nothing wrong. Hey Linghu, do I look like I'm acting right now? That's when her father steps forward and says enough is enough. Big-Xuan, you're just a toad wanting to eat swan meat. The Chinese really love that weird phrase. But it doesn't matter. Linghu is already part of my family. Linghu is just standing there thinking. Father and daughter are both trying to kill me, shooting arrows straight at me, making all these damn plans to ruin my life. Bixuan snarls, no way, you're not going to force Chu Ran to marry this useless playboy. Chu Ran, relax, I won't let this guy harm you. Chu Ran can't even explain herself anymore, realizing that everything she says, this guy just completely misinterprets. This was turning into a real headache. Bixuan smiles and says, Hemph, you're still such a shy girl, I'll come back for you. Linghu just stares at him. Oh, you're leaving already, Bixuan. Inside he's screaming, take your damn wife with you and stop messing with the story already. But Bixuan turns back and says, that smug attitude of yours won't last much longer. Next time we meet, I'm going to expose the mutt you really are, humiliating others just to feel superior. But in the future, everyone there would end up kneeling before him. Linghu couldn't care less about that whole speech. All he's thinking is whether Bixuan is actually going to leave. He calls out, Bixuan, are you going to wrap things up here? May I mean to find a way to take Chu Ran with you and get out of this place. Bixuan, confused, doesn't get why the kid is acting so strange and says he'll be back. Don't worry, I'll return, he promises. Linghu, meanwhile, doesn't understand why Chu Ran isn't doing anything. If this guy would just take her away now, there'd be no reason for him to come back later and rip my throat out. It'd be way better if she just disappeared from here. Poor Chu Ran has her hand over her face while the two of them argue. She finally snaps and yells that they're both adults. When is this going to end? Then suddenly she grabs Linghu's arm and kisses him. What the hell? She declares that this is proof enough and says she'll marry him. She likes Linghu and Bixuan should leave. But the protagonist is delusional. He's wondering how he's supposed to save her now. I'll have to bankrupt the entire Linghu group. That's the best option. The protagonist is standing there not understanding a thing. Then the system congratulates him for completing the first mission. He's changed Chu Ran's mindset, and now she'll help him survive for 5 chapters. As a reward, he's given a 600 square meter villa. Holy hell, this is the first time I've seen a system story where the guy actually has to work hard to get something. This was no freebie. But the protagonist is just thinking, come on. I've got 9 digits in my bank account. What am I supposed to do with a villa? And just like that, we're in the protagonist's new house. Finally, after that chaotic banquet, he's able to relax a little. Sitting there peacefully, sipping wine, he says, hey system, got anything for me? Right away, the little interface pops up. Yes, today begins the second stage of the story. In this part, Chu Ran and Linghu are forced into this so-called alliance marriage. Dajuan, her father, takes the two of them to meet Emperor Tanzu. Tanzu is the uncle who trained and raised Dajuan, now 70 years old with an illness that's getting worse. So everyone is bringing him treatment after treatment, most of which are useless. In the original story, Linghu introduces a special doctor, almost like a divine physician. But in the end, he just embarrasses himself, and once again, Bixuan shows up to humiliate him. That's because Bixuan had already mastered the 9 profound heavens, a medical technique with a perfect success rate. With that, Bixuan miraculously saves old Tanzu, who naturally starts to favor him. That's when the Linghu family starts to lose power, since Tanzu decides to support Bixuan's family instead. Linghu is thinking, oh hell. According to the plot, that bastard Bixuan should already have the technique, and I have nothing to offer. Basically, I'm just going there to get beaten up. The system chimes in, hey, don't give up. You're the villain. You have to fight for it. Survive. Right then, the door opens. Someone says that today's the banquet and Linghu should get ready. It's a guy named Hu Chang, and the system immediately warns him. This guy has the title King of Provocations. Just having Hu Chang nearby raises your chance of dying here by 50%. Linghu thinks, damn it, where did this bastard even come from? I need to get rid of him. So he turns to Shang and says, Chang, I'm proud to have a bodyguard like you. You're way too talented for this. That's why I'm sending you to America to become a shareholder. You're going to make a fortune. Chang just looks confused. Huh? Master, how am I supposed to do that? I don't know anything about stocks. Are you crazy? The protagonist tells Chang not to worry. Believe in yourself, man. Give it your all. Get on that plane. You're gonna become the best. He thinks to himself finally, with the guy who we've spent all day provoking everyone gone, I'm free. But yeah, right, like they'd actually write him out of the story so easily. Baldi's gonna be back any minute. Outside the Tan family hotel, our boy steps out of the car, straightens his tie, and tells Chu Ran they've arrived. But while he's busy with his little plan, another mage with those big magical spheres shows up, asking why he looks so familiar. What the hell is this? Is this some kind of action figure? I can see every possible angle. She steps out of the car and says she remembers now. Oh no, he's already tugging at his tie. She asks if he's not the ex-boyfriend she hated most. This one's going to be even tougher. She already knows him. The protagonist thinks there I am, hand on my hip, and remembers. This is Malcolm Yi. The name comes back to him as the system triggers a memory. They were childhood classmates and had a sweet relationship for a while, but it seems they broke up over some completely ridiculous misunderstanding. Not long after that, Linghu became Chu Ran's lapdog, and that's when she started pulling away from him. The guy can't go 16 seconds without a woman around. a real lovesick fool. Qiu smiles, saying it's been a while since they talked, but there's no way he could have forgotten her. The protagonist, meanwhile, can feel the sheer weight of her magic and admits she's breathtaking. It's hard not to appreciate that she used to be his girlfriend. But at the same time, he thinks to himself that he's stubborn. And of course, Black Thought Bubble. We know she can hear him. She's startled, looking around, trying to figure out who just said that. By the time she looks forward, our protagonist is already heading for the car. He leans toward the blonde guy. How much is this car, huh? Let's talk business. Meanwhile, he's thinking, great, another woman showing up to cause me problems. Get lost. But that thought gets captured too, and she notices that now that he's farther away, the voice is a little quieter. Lingu casually asks the blonde guy, hey buddy, wanna go have a smoke with me? But the thought that gets captured is, damn it, what good is it that she's hot? In the end, she'll just end up in that guy's harem. I'm the biggest fool in this book. That bastard stole God's favor, and now he wants to steal my ex-girlfriend too. The villain's life really isn't easy. Fuyu hears all of it and steps closer. What nonsense are you talking about? Confused, he says he didn't say anything. She replies, you might not admit it, but you really are making a mess of things. After holding on to Chu-Ran for so long and finally winning her over, now you're trying to make her mad. The protagonist is completely lost, thinking, I'm literally begging for a divorce. What's the point of all this? I don't even like that weirdo Chu-Ran. A better match would be someone like her, my childhood friend. But of course, she hears that too. Damn it. And now we've got another smart girl on our hands. She's already realized that he doesn't know she can hear every single one of his monologues. But that's not even the most important thing. She wants to know what he means by saying she's better than Chu-Ran. So she asks, why do you look sad whenever you talk about Chu-Ran? Do you not want to marry her? Lin-Hu sighs. This marriage is a minefield. Qiu presses him. Then why are you her lapdog? The protagonist launches into another inner rant, which she also hears, saying he never wanted to be her lapdog. He was forced into it. That lunatic Chu-Ran manipulated all of Bixuan's hatred so that the bastard would want to kill him. Damn story with zero intelligence. He just wanted to kick them both. Kiryu is giggling while he just stands there like, seriously? Is she stupid? Literally? A random insult pops into his head. She steps closer and says, so that explains it. That misunderstanding all those years ago wasn't your fault. Great, now it's not a magic academy, but fireballs keep flying the protagonist nonstop. She sighs, saying it's a shame he still has to get married. And then he drops the legendary line, even a good horse likes to graze in familiar fields. Damn Chinese competing with Socrates now. He gently pushes her away, saying life would be way easier with someone like Qiu, but now he has no choice. Right then, Chu-Ran steps out of the car, and she heard his inner monologue saying Qiu would be better for him than her. She sees them close together and shouts his name. She's clenching her fists in anger, watching them so close, but then stops for a moment and decides to play it smart. Oh, this girl knows how to play. She walks over, all smiles. Linghu, I've been looking for you for so long. He's completely confused. What the hell is going on? Feels like Magic Academy again. Another fireball straight to the poor guy's face. Before he can react, she grabs his face and says she wants a kiss. The protagonist is baffled. Why the hell does she have a sudden personality switch like that? Qiu instantly realizes it's just a cheap trick. Linghu will have a talk after the banquet. Don't forget, my number hasn't changed. She says this right in front of the fiancé, who's showing up to get married in the same dress again. Oh wait, right, today is just the meeting with the old man. Chu-Ran pinches him hard, glaring. You bastard, did you forget you're going to marry me? Why are you flirting with other women? The protagonist snaps back. Chu-Ran dropped the act. There's no one else around. You think I don't know? You don't even want to marry me. But Chu-Ran demands, you think you're escaping now? The announcement's already been made, half the city knows. There's no way you can run from this. The protagonist growls, wouldn't it be better if you found someone you actually love? She fires back that it's none of his business who she loves. That choice is hers. The two of them are bickering while Bixuan watches from afar. Chu-Ran is suffering so much. Though that smile on her face, it doesn't look like suffering at all. This damn Linghu is too slick with women. The poor girl can't resist his tricks, but saving Chu-Ran is my duty. I won't give up on her. Bixuan is practically glowing with determination while inside the hall, Chu-Ran is driving Linghu around. He keeps telling her to stop with the theatrics, but she just says there's no reason to. They're getting married now. He still insists they should talk about ending this engagement instead. Walking with his head down, he mutters. Any second now, Bixuan's gonna show up and wreck everything. I better stay away from this woman because he's definitely going to talk to her, and I don't want to be anywhere nearby when that happens. He excuses himself. Someone's calling me over there. I'll go ahead. Apparently, Chu-Ran didn't catch that thought, and she's left wondering if he really hates her that much. As he passes by, Tan Zhu spots him and calls him over. Linghu, I was looking for you. I prepared an incredible gift for you. The gift is Dr. Shangwen, who steps forward and adjusts his glasses. Yes, I am a top-class physician, he says confidently. Tan Zhu explains, Linghu, this man is an excellent play. Even if his treatment doesn't work, people will see that you tried out of goodwill. And if it does work, even better, this will definitely strengthen the bond between the Xiao family and the Lingyu family. The protagonist just asks, "What's this old man's name again?" He remembers that in the original story, the so-called divine doctor was also brought in, and his surname was Shangwon. But in the end, Baeksuan exposed the guy as a complete fraud. Linghu had tried to make sure that man wouldn't appear at all, because if Baeksuan humiliates him, he'll be associated with the failure and might get beaten up for nothing. He's doing everything he can to remove the people who only make his life harder, but it's not easy. Then he wonders if there are parts of the story that just can't be changed, like the doctor's appearance, since the whole plot kind of revolves around him. Tan Zhu interrupts him. "Boy, why are you just standing there? Don't you want to take the doctor inside?" The protagonist clutches his stomach dramatically. Stomachache, give me a second. And he bolts for the bathroom. Outside, holding a wine glass, he thinks the whole situation is completely insane. And then, bam, his childhood friend shows up sticking close to him. She asks if something's wrong because she can tell he's not doing well. She grabs his jacket, saying she noticed his interactions with Chu Ran didn't look natural at all. Linghu just glares at her and tells her to take her hand off him. "I'm already engaged," he says. But in his mind, he's thinking that in his experience with these kinds of stories, you never touch a beautiful woman because they'll all end up in a protagonist's harem anyway. Kuryu says none of that matters. Marriages can be called off. The protagonist just stares at her, thinking to himself, another thought bubble that gets captured. This girl really is testing my mental fortitude. He's trying to resist, but this little demon with a tiny waist and everything else going for her is hard to ignore. Of course, she blushes right away, wondering if he really thinks that. She decides to go in for stage 2, saying she wants him to be honest. "Who do you prefer, Miwa Chu Ran?" The protagonist turns away and says, "Chu Ran is my fiancé. You're just a stranger." But inside, he's thinking, "Damn it, I can't hold on anymore." And she doesn't stop. She goes in for a sneak attack, biting him lightly, saying he has to be honest. They're friends, sure, but what kind of friends are they? The protagonist tells her to have a little self-respect. His heart is pounding so hard it's about to explode. He says it's getting hard to resist. He's a man, after all, and he's about to lose control. Kuryu just laughs at him, thinking he's a hypocrite. He's saying all this, but his thoughts make everything perfectly clear, and she finds it hilarious. The protagonist notices she's having fun with this, but just then, he sees Baeksuan coming. He suddenly shoves Kuryu back and says, "Enough. As long as this engagement is still happening, you're just a stranger to me." Even he gets mad at himself for pushing her. Damn it, how could I push away something that perfect? But he knows he can't go any further. If he does, he's finished. Seems like the villain's fate is to just look a lot and touch very little. But Kuryu hears all that and just laughs softly, while Linghu thinks, "I'm humiliating myself here and she's laughing at me?" He starts thinking this girl doesn't even see him as a human being in this story. He demands to know why she's laughing so much. She says it's nothing, that she just thought about something that made her happy. Fed up, Linghu says he's leaving. This story is already getting weird. I'm done with it. He opens the door. Today he wants to stay far away from all the women at this banquet, and that creepy doctor too. When the doctor finally goes to meet the emperor, Linghu plans to fake another stomachache and vanish. But when he glances back, Kuryu is suddenly on the floor. "Yup, master, I fell," she says. He's confused. She hasn't moved an inch, so how could she have fallen? Obviously, she's up to something. And Baeksuan is standing nearby watching. Linghu knows this bastard is going to step in any second. Kuryu says, "Young master, help me up." Inside, Kuryu is thinking it's all clear now. He doesn't like Chu Ran, so all she has to do is take advantage of that and make him fall for her again. Linghu just says, "You fell. That's your own fault. Nobody told you to wear heels that high." Then he turns to leave. But he stops for a moment, realizing that even if he can't get close to her, he also can't just insult her. If she gets angry and complains to Baeksuan, who will eventually have her in his harem, he's going to get beaten and screwed over anyway. Kuryu hears all of that loud and clear. She warns him, "Linghu hang, if you don't help me, I'm going to get very angry. And me being angry could have serious consequences." He panics and tells her, "All right, get up slowly," while thinking, "Damn girl, don't get too close to me. You're going to be Baeksuan's concubine sooner or later." Kuryu can't understand what he means. She's a noble woman of the Mao family. Why would she ever have anything to do with Baeksuan? He asks her if she can walk or if he should call the doctor. She insists, "I can't walk. You'll have to hold me by the waist like before." And right then, it's internal bleeding time. Baeksuan shows up, smacks Linghu on the back, and orders him to let her go. He pulls Kuryu over to him and says Linghu is disgusting. "Don't worry," he tells her. "Just stay by my side." Kuryu is completely lost. Then Baeksuan turns back to Linghu. "You two-faced bastard, you're engaged to Chu Ran and now you're flirting with innocent women." Linghu is dumbfounded. Flirting? With who? I haven't done a damn thing. But Baeksuan keeps shouting, calling him shameless, loud enough for the entire banquet to notice. Kuryu urges him to keep his voice down, but Baeksuan refuses. This guy needs to be called out publicly. Chu Ran has to see his true colors. And just then, a bald-headed man appears, demanding to know what's going on and what Linghu's relationship is with his sister. This is Mao Xiaojun, Kyu's brother. The two men stare each other down, but somehow they already seem to understand one another. Linghu knows these siblings have some shady schemes going on. According to the story, Xiaojun and Qiyu are fighting for control of the Mao family. And before the banquet, Xiaojun secretly met with Bixuan and struck a deal. They convinced a faction of the Mao family to invest in a garbage project that's guaranteed to lose money. When that happens, Xiaojun will gain more power and take full control of the family.